I said I would get more guests on, and I'm going to. So this is my good friend Divan. Now, please excuse Divan. He's going through a weird phase in his life where he's trying to decide, what hair color looks better, what kind of look suits him best. So just excuse him. Like he's a bit weird at the moment, but that's also fine. He knows a lot about cars. Well, more specifically Formula One. So that's what we're going to chat about today. Of course, Formula One 2021 is sort of upon us. It's about 2 months away.
Yep.
So we want to chat a bit about what Formula One this year looks like. Of course, a lot of regulation changes was initially implemented for this season, but then was shifted back to 2022 because of the what did they call it? Oh yes, COVID.
I think it's called COVID.
It's called COVID. So yes, Divan, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's awesome.
No, it's good. Always like it to have someone to join into the conversation. As you said earlier, it's just it's nice, like talking to myself and all. It's actually not. It's I just enjoyed much more chatting with someone. Yeah.
Someone have interest.
So we're chatting about Formula One today. If you don't like Formula One, that's also fine. I'm sure you like either my hair or his. So if that's a reason to stay on, then please do. If you like Divan's hair,
stay.
Put it in the comment section.
Let me know.
Let him know. What should he change? Maybe cut it all off.
Maybe I should shave it.
Or was that like a foreshadowing for how your hair is going to look over a month?
Yeah. I was gambling, and because it's all coming off.
It's all
okay,
coming off.
You know. But you're my idol.
I know.
I see your hair and I just go,
yes.
Wow.
Okay.
I gotta.
I'm glad. But anyway, so let's start chatting. Formula One 2020, which was last year.
Which was awesome.
What do we think?
Great. They did a great job with COVID. I was expecting no races. I wasn't expecting a whole season. I was expecting races, but I wasn't expecting a championship because, when they cancelled Australia and then they cancelled like 4 in a row afterwards, my hopes for F1 this year was completely over. But they did a great job. We got a championship. We got a great season, even though Hamilton won again, which is still a good thing, right? We don't hate him. It's gonna happen again. But this year is gonna be probably even better because now they know how to deal with COVID. All the logistics is sorted out. We have a plan.
They showed they could do it.
Yeah, they showed us. We can still do it, but it looks like we have an actual season coming now. A normal season, but no fans again, which is kind of sad.
It is kind of sad. But I must say, I do agree. We had a championship, which is awesome.
We had a great one.
I remember when Melbourne was cancelled last year, when Australia was cancelled, I was shooketh. I was like, is this the end, But I'm very glad they pulled it back. The races were sort of like just pulled out of the air, like coming out of nowhere. But I'm so happy it did because I remember. I think I can't remember where the first race was.
Austria.
Mm-hmm. Austria was alright.
It was alright.
But the next races.
Oh my word!
Were very, very good. They were so competitive.
Because Bottas won the first race.
That's what 2019 lacked. Yeah. But
there was so much variety this year.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting another season when Mercedes, Ferrari. We'll talk about Ferrari a little bit later. Ferrari, Red Bull, the usual what we normally see. But this year was so scattered. Ferrari were down in like 5th or 6th this season. Mercedes dominated, but Red Bull are showing some kind of magic that they have a chance of fighting for another championship. Like they won 4 in a row with Sebastian Vettel. And McLaren, P3. And did you see the P3
that's
fight?
Very good.
McLaren, Renault, that fight was awesome. Oh, wait, Racing Point, which are now Aston Martin.
Yes.
That fight was so cool. It was so close. It was a 7-point difference.
Because usually Renault is right the 4. Like Renault McLaren is sort of a known battle, especially the past 2-3 years.
Always.
But now Racing Point, because they had the pink Mercedes. Like let's be honest, the car did a lot, but also. Like, I didn't have a huge liking of Lance Stroll, and I still probably don't.
Same.
But their drivers were rather good this year.
Sergio Perez, which is now at Red Bull.
Which is now Red Bull.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. Well, it happened now.
It's not what I was expecting to lose his seat completely.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to bring in a new young guy. I thought Alex would keep his seat.
Alex was. I really like Alex.
Same.
Have you watched Drive to Survive?
Oh yeah.
So of course everyone likes Alex because he's the nice guy.
He is the nice
He's
guy.
the nice young guy, like the sort of rookie coming in, sort of gonna make some moves. And yes, Gasly didn't do well when he was at Red Bull, so he got shifted on. Alex Albon came in.
Yeah.
Really didn't do as well as I expected.
His
And
first season
Gasly
was
did
good.
well.
Yeah. It's so weird. He was at AlphaTauri, which are, by the way, also doing great. That's the coolest thing, though. All the teams are doing so well.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at Williams, they didn't score a point, but look where they're coming. They used to be this back markers getting lapped every single race in 2019. Yeah. And this year, they actually had fights with some of the back teams, which doesn't sound great, but George finished P11 a few times. Even Latifi did with like 6 DNFs, but still P11 is huge.
DNFs were massive this year. Eh?
Yeah, it was big.
But like it's racing. Like you can't expect a perfect race. You can't expect people not finishing. And now when you get racing points, finishing in top 5 positions, finishing podium,
on podiums,
and
wins.
people are like, you don't deserve it. You don't earn it. Like that's racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if it was in Canada. But I think it was in Canada where Lance Stroll got podium.
Yeah. That was crazy.
It was crazy, right? And that's not the first time he got podium, but it also, of course, some people were like, it's not fair, like you can't count this race, but that is racing.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, like what about, forgot which one it is now, it's one of the Italian ones where Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll were on a podium.
Was it Mugello?
I think, no, it wasn't Mugello. It was,
okay.
I don't know what, I think it was Monza. Yes, the main one that's always there.
Yes.
3 people, McLaren, Racing Point, and who else? So it was Lance Stroll, so it's Racing Point, McLaren, there's Carlos Sainz, and Pierre Gasly, AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri won a race this season.
I remember.
When last were they on the podium?
Yeah.
Last time was Danny Kvyat in a couple of years ago.
19 or 18.
Was it 20? Yeah, it was probably 2018, I think. But that shows how far everyone's coming, but it's not always luck. There was a lot Mercedes, like Hamilton got penalty, DNFs and stuff, but it shows that it's getting more competitive.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think the top guys aren't going to be the top guys with ease anymore. I think the P2 fight's going to be huge this year.
Yeah.
I think people are going to start catching up with Red Bull, but Red Bull are definitely going to start catching up with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes are not going to be the number 1 team, I say. 2022, when the new regulations come in, I think it's going to be a completely new field, with the budget caps, which is going to be like $135 million.
145.
Yeah, because
it's
going to come down.
Coming down over the years.
Yeah, it's going to come down, but that's going to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because now they can't do the extra research which they normally would do, which gets them that step ahead. Now
usually, Mercedes have more people on vacation than Haas have in whole staff.
The whole staff.
It just goes to show, budget is massive, and this is similar in football. Not American football, like soccer. Like Premier League and everything. Like your big teams have massive budgets because of all the the oil sheiks and whatever. Those guys just investing. But I think it's really good just leveling the playing field in that respect, because it goes to show these drivers are very competent, very, very good drivers. You'll probably be able to tell me what race it was, but there was a race where George Russell replaced Hamilton because Hamilton had COVID, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Bahrain, the Alta circuit.
But so he used Hamilton's car. Now Hamilton's car was still Hamilton's car when Russell raced it, meaning the seating position, the position of the pedals. Hamilton is a lot shorter than George Russell. And George Russell practiced it insane. Can't remember what happened in qualifying, but I know he crashed or didn't crash. Something happened and he didn't finish where he was supposed to finish.
Yeah, he
still got pole, didn't he?
No, he got P2.
He got P2.
Just.
Yeah.
Barely.
But then in the race, I can't remember. It was a mix-up with tires, I think.
Yeah, so he was leading, I think, about 40 laps of that race. That's a big deal.
Proper.
That's really good.
He overtook Bottas, right?
Yeah, and when he got in that, so 2 things happened, which that was probably my most emotional race ever. I was on Instagram talking about it. I was crying with people. I was so upset about this race. But so first there was a pit stop when they shouldn't have done a pit stop.
Yeah.
George could have carried on going. There was a safety car, wrong timing. So then he fell back very far. He came back though. Then he got P1 again. He was leading the race. He did a really cool overtake on Bottas. a really cool, like something you wouldn't expect some rookie to do in a Mercedes for the first time.
Yeah.
And then the second pit stop, they put on the wrong tires. And then he had to come back in again.
Yes.
And then he got a puncture.
Yeah.
You know, everything
went wrong.
Everything just went wrong for that guy that race. You know, but it was still, you know, it was still a good race. It was a very exciting race. I think, was that the race? It wasn't the race where Grosjean crashed, right?
No.
It was just like a race
Grosjean
before.
was a bit like 1 or 2 races after.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Okay, so it wasn't that race. Yeah,
No,
so.
Grosjean was rather at the end of the season he crashed.
Yeah, it was one of the last races.
One of the last races
It was like,
he had
I think it was like
crash.
the third loss or something.
Yeah.
There was 2 replacements for 2 races.
Yes.
Okay, so it was very close to that one. So it was afterwards.
Hulkenberg also made an appearance again.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
You did very well.
I used to dislike him
Really?
because him and Daniel Ricciardo were
Oh yes,
teammates, and I loved
but
Daniel
they'd be
Ricciardo.
yeah.
And I didn't like Nico. Whenever he beat Daniel, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
But now I realized he deserves a seat. When he came in and he got, what did he get in? He did like a really good qualifying. He got P3 or something.
At Racing Point.
Yeah. When he came in, he got P3. That just shows how good of a driver he is.
And just taking it back to Russell also driving for Mercedes. I mean, of course there were going to be controversy regarding, Hamilton is just all about the car and whatever. Yeah. Okay, maybe more on that later, but just to give my quick 2 cents, I really think Hamilton is the best driver on the grid.
Yeah.
Like in terms of skill, like coming back in races when he would drop back because of something that happened, like he has unbelievable skill.
Yeah.
But it just showed that there are only 20 races. There are only 20 guys in Formula 1, and all of them have potential to be number 1.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it goes. That all of them have potential to be the best, and the cars just have a massive influence. I remember it's Andrew Horner, the Red Bull. So Andrew Horner, the head of Red Bull, the racing team, he, at the start of the year, before 2020 season started, during COVID, after Melbourne and everything was cancelled, he actually made a recommendation, or rather a suggestion, suggesting that, for qualifying, so let's make 2. So of course there were like double races, like 2 at each circuit, especially at the start. So he said, okay, just swap qualifying around. Whatever happened in the first qualifying, swap it around grids for the grid for the next race.
Yeah.
And that just gives some chance for your weaker cars or weaker drivers, if you want to put it that way, your low grid, to give them a chance to actually, get by.
Yeah.
And I think if that would have happened, the races would have been so much more different than we would even think. Even your lower tier drivers, your lower grid drivers, like you would see the most insane battles.
Yeah,
like
you would.
Your middle of the grid battles are usually unbelievable, but you don't see it.
Yeah,
because
it's always
the camera can only,
filming the leader or a crash,
Or a crash, yeah. But there were a lot of those this season.
Crashes.
Definitely a lot of those.
There was a lot of DNFs, there was crashes. I remember, I think it was the very first race when Alex Albon had a chance of winning.
Oh,
and then you sent it on the outside of Hamilton and got knocked off the track.
Yes,
and then DNF. That was a big upset because he got a podium this year, which is a good thing.
Everyone was backing him.
Everyone was backing him and then hating him for trying so hard. And then he did well and everyone liked him again.
Yeah.
And then the last 5 races, he just had no speed. And then everyone started disliking him again.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of just a bit rough on him, but it does make sense that he got dropped.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserves to lose an F1 seat, but the Red Bull seat, yeah. Sergio Perez is going to have a huge, huge deal on that team.
So, I think let's chat a bit about driver lineups this year.
Oh, yeah.
So, just touching on Alex Albon again. So, he is now the reserve driver for Red Bull, if I'm right.
Yeah, right.
I really hope he does get some opportunity to actually go driving, which
I think he will.
He will, but of course not a lot as he did this year.
I think he'll stand in somewhere, hopefully. And maybe he'll use that opportunity. He can't just get in there and then have a bad race. It won't help him. I think if he gets an opportunity, he's going to use it. And if he does well, it'll just show. But I think he needs a year to just think about stuff and get rid of people criticizing him and kind of figure out that he needs to just kind of toughen up and just ignore everything, because there was so much criticism from everyone. Not many people trying to help him.
And I think also because he was teammate with Max Verstappen. Now, of course, Verstappen has been in the works for some time, but he's also a young guy.
Yeah.
If you would have to be like, if let's say Albon was teammate with someone like Vettel, it would have been a whole different game, because I wouldn't say Vettel would take him under his wing, but there's a lot that Vettel knows, and a lot that Vettel has already experienced in F1 that, you know, Albon just hasn't. Like, he has no clue of. And as you said,
Yeah,
he just has to toughen up.
Max is like experienced, but not like Sebastian Vettel or like a Lewis Hamilton.
Like, he's still a young guy.
He is still younger, but he's good. He's really
let's
good.
not take away from that.
But if you look,
If he doesn't win a championship somewhere in his career,
he will.
Something will go wrong. But like,
something went wrong if he doesn't win in the next, I'd say 5 years. If he doesn't have one championship,
that wouldn't make sense.
Because I think Red Bull, like I said earlier, they're gonna catch up with Mercedes. But he definitely deserves a championship. He drives. Have you seen, like, what he does with the Red Bull? He takes it further, and like, you know, like that race at I think it's Silverstone. Or whatever the British one is.
Silverstone.
Yeah. You know, they tell him, okay, you got to calm down, take it a bit slowly, but he then pushes the car because he knows what he can do with the car, and he can almost win races, you know.
Yeah.
He did get a win this season, which shows that the Red Bull car is not, you know, lacking. It has a chance of getting wins and, you know, chasing Mercedes. So yeah, and like Sebastian Vettel, you were mentioning earlier, taking someone under their wing. I think he's going to be a big deal for Lance Stroll.
Massive.
Who's still a young guy, and I think he's a bit cocky.
Yes.
And he doesn't, you know, he's still very young and he's still
what,
new.
2022 this year or something?
Yeah, he's really young. So Sebastian Vettel, I think, will hopefully have a big effect on him, so that he can, you know, he has a chance. Everyone has a chance just to be that number one. So hopefully this helps Lance Stroll, you know, get some discipline. I think that's what Lance Stroll needs when he's driving.
100%. Same. Like, I think it's the thing with all young guys. But one guy who seemingly has a lot of discipline for me is George Russell, even being so young. Like, he seems so determined, so like set on performing, doing well, winning. I mean, Toto Wolff, I know he loves George Russell, and like somewhere in the future he will probably drive Mercedes also.
Yeah, he will. I think he'll. You know, Hamilton hasn't signed yet.
Okay, so let's start chatting about that, because Mercedes, of course, Bottas signed. Hamilton hasn't signed. He's still on holiday.
We're in 2021, you know.
And they are still chatting about like contract specifications. I think he wants to earn like 40 million a year. Like I think that's his contract like requirement.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mercedes is like, I don't think they're eating a slice of that cake.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, but he's earning a lot more because of sponsorships and everything. Like, he is affiliated.
He brings so much money with him.
Yeah. No, he has such a big voice in Formula One. Like, he's one guy, but he has such a big voice that you can't like not listen. Like, people,
you can't not have him there.
If he says something about, you know, Black Lives Matter or whatever, like, just as an example, like, people listen. Yeah. Like, he's a massive voice. So
people respect him.
Yeah. So I think, he hasn't signed yet. Bottas has already signed.
Yeah. So
which is like, Bottas is the perfect teammate.
Yeah, he's a perfect teammate. He's a perfect helper.
He is not like, of course, when you speak to Bottas, he'll probably say like he's aimed at going first and whatever.
Yeah.
But teams have strategies.
He knows what he is in that team. Yeah. He is the backup driver, really. I feel like that's what he is. Because Hamilton is so good, and they know they can, if they keep Hamilton, they're going to win world championships, you know? Yeah. So keeping Bottas, Bottas obviously wants a championship, but I don't see him winning a championship, even though he's in a Mercedes. While Hamilton's there, it's not happening. Yeah. You know? And you saw when George came. Yeah. George was beating him. Yeah. You know, it just shows that I don't think he'll win a championship because he's a backup driver.
I think he's also so uncomfortable leading. Like, when he leads a race,
he's always second.
When he's first, like, he just doesn't know how it feels. You know, let's say it was in another team, I don't know, maybe it would be a different thing. But perfect teammate for Hamilton, perfect recipe for Mercedes to make sure that even though, let's say, Hamilton, you know, drops out of a race or something, Bottas will still perform.
He can perform and get the win.
He is so consistent.
Exactly. He's consistent. That's what he is. Yeah. You know, he might not win the whole time, but you always scoring points. You know, he's doing his job right. He's getting qualifying P2. He's, you know, a few times Max beat him. Yeah. You know, but that he is consistent. He's there, top 3 always. He'll always be there.
So Red Bull, of course, they have Max Verstappen now and Sergio Perez.
That's cool.
So Max will still be the first driver.
Yep.
But at the moment, it seems like there's going to be some conflict.
There's going to be a
Because
big
Perez is a
conflict.
big personality.
Yep.
Sort of, I think.
And Max
I think
is
he's
also-
quite a strong guy. But no, Max 100%.
Yeah.
But there's some conflict because Perez will still wants to be first.
He won't take. You know, Perez has been in the sport longer.
But that is where Red Bull is going to place him. Like
he knows that he's not going to be like the number one, but it's a good thing they have two big drivers in the team now, so that they have that chance of winning going for the constructors championship. But it's also a bad thing because now you have two big good drivers. Sergio Perez is an amazing driver. You know, he's a talent. Now he has a car behind him as well. You know, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be cool, but also hopefully no conflict, no touching. You know, no like bumping, like not too much.
Yeah.
But I think Max will still come out on top after.
It'll be interesting to see how Perez does to start with the Red Bull car. Of course, Red Bull car is a bit better than his big Mercedes. Well, I don't know, maybe not as much as we think, but it'll be interesting to see how they race against each other and if they will be like even close. But like if Red Bull, you know, wants to stay second but also be in contention for first, their backup driver has to step up because that's what Albon didn't do. He wasn't the Bottas for Verstappen.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And you need that guy who just picks up the scraps or helps along the...
Just needs to be consistent. I think his first year, hopefully he realizes he just needs to be consistent and maybe not go for that, like beating Max the whole time. Maybe just be consistent, show them, okay, he's good, he's consistent, he's got some talent, like they know he does. And then when Red Bull get even closer to Mercedes, then he should go for it. I don't think his first year should be trying to smash Max out the park. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it'll just create conflict and issues at Red Bull. So I think he should just be like what Bottas is for the first year and then go for it. You know?
So thirdly, McLaren.
Yep.
So McLaren also changed wildly.
Yeah.
They now have Ricciardo, your favorite driver.
Yep. And Lando.
And still Lando.
That's going to be an awesome lineup. That's a fun
what do you
lineup.
think about that dynamic?
Perfect. Carlos is a joker.
They're both fun guys.
Carlos is a fun guy as well. You know, he's pretty similar to Daniel, but Daniel. But Daniel's driving. I think Daniel is
very talented.
A higher rated driver than Carlos. He's been in longer. He is, you know, they all went through like kind of the same thing, like the AlphaTauri, or what was it, the old name?
Toro
Rosso. Carlos was there, and then Daniel was in Red Bull, so they were kind of close. So they're like very similar guys. They've been through the same stuff. But Daniel, you saw what he did in the Renault this year. Now he has a McLaren, which was P3, and I think slightly better. They're very close, but it is a better car, as you see at the championship. I think this is what he deserves. I think his move to Renault wasn't the best idea, but it came out pretty good. And at first I hated his move. I was like, why are you moving? Renault are doing so well now. But then I saw McLaren doing really well. So I think it's a good move. I think it's going to be really good for him. I think he's going to score some podiums. And Lando. I think McLaren are going to have a great year. They're skyrocketing the last three, since 2016 when they were like back markers with Fernando Alonso, all those engine issues, where they've gone from, they've gone up like one spot in the championship every year.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be P2, but they'll be very good next year. I think they'll take a big step away from the 4th and 5th guys in the constructors.
And Lando did very well for them, even though he's the youngest guy on the grid.
Yeah. Podium.
But he's definitely a podium contender, 100%. His talent is amazing, but he needs some experience.
Lando's not going to back down.
Daniel can definitely supply that in heaps. And I think, just them as a team will definitely work well. They are both very fun, spontaneous guy off the grid.
But also competitive. Very competitive
Very
drivers.
competitive, very committed, talented. I mean, we know this.
Yeah.
So
I think this McLaren team is way better place for Daniel. It just suits him.
Suits him. Yeah.
McLaren are like, I wouldn't say a fun team. They just seem like a nice team to be part of.
Yeah.
Renault seem nice.
Yeah.
But like, I think McLaren's just perfect for Daniel.
Yeah.
His character fits perfectly in there. It looks like he's loving it already. They're like showing him all off on Instagram and doing quizzes and doing like giving him his car and stuff. So he's having I think I would rather drive a McLaren than that small little Renault.
Yeah, a Renault Megane is awesome, but why would you drive it if you can drive a 720S?
Yeah.
So that also, the perks just goes a long way.
A long way, exactly.
So I'm definitely for McLaren. I really don't hope they have the financial problems they had last year because they had to sell basically their headquarters
Yeah.
for something like £200 million,
Which is a
because
lot,
they just didn't have the money.
But if you see it doesn't look like they're having issues because one, they signed
Yeah.
Daniel. Two, they're thinking about joining Formula E.
Yes.
So there has to be
I don't know
something
about
going
that,
on.
though. Like,
I don't think about that. I don't think that's a
I don't
great
think
idea.
anyone watches Formula E.
I watch it just when I feel like watching it, but I can't watch
And
it
when's
like
that?
F1.
Maybe once.
Maybe if I see it on when I'm bored.
Okay,
Maybe when the F1 we had a red flag.
Yes.
I went over to watch Formula E, and then as soon as the red flag was gone, I came back to F1. That's the
okay.
only time, really.
Okay, so McLaren done. Red Bull. Renault. Renault is also a bit different now. Of course, Ricciardo is gone.
Yeah, and Cyril.
And yes.
But I don't know much about that, but yeah.
But I don't know about the new guy coming in
Not
to
at all.
replace him.
For Alpine. They're Alpine next year. They're not Renault.
Yes, you're right. The Alpine.
Yeah.
Then okay, yeah, that also
I forgot
changed. But
about
that's
that.
basically just the name change.
Yeah.
But I think that's also like an organizational change they want to make, like sort of make Alpine.
Yeah,
more
I think it's a
toward racing.
financial thing too. Like it's
It
a big
is,
deal
yeah.
for them.
So new guys on Ocon
And
He stays.
Fernando,
and then Fernando.
which I don't think is a good idea at all. That's my opinion.
Like you had your shine, like Fernando. You know, you
And
had
he
your
is
time.
a legend.
He is a
was one
legend.
of the best.
He finished on sort of a high.
Mm-hmm.
He's still insane. Very,
Not a
very good.
McLaren.
But yeah. But like coming back, I think. Okay, he had some failed attempts at going IndyCar racing because I don't think he qualified for Indy 500. I don't know if he was going to drive Dakar.
He did try, and he didn't. He wanted to go for what do you call it? The crown thing. You win Formula One, you win in the car thing, you win the Indianapolis thing, and I think that's all three.
Oh, it's like a sort of grand
That was
slam
his
kind of
thing. Yeah, he wanted to do that, and it just didn't work. You know, I thought it was gonna be done with racing.
Yeah, so he also has a brand, he also has a voice, but
Yeah, I just don't see a good idea bringing him in.
you know, he'll still be mid-grid, like he'll still be just
He's not gonna
pondering
put them
around.
up there.
Like he's not going to be podium.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe we are very pessimistic about it, but it's just like I feel he had his shine. We need someone new.
It's just the money, really.
Yeah.
There's so much money coming through with him, and there is experience. You know, he was there.
Yeah.
He has been at Renault, so yeah, it's not that bad. But I just don't think it was the best pick.
Yeah. I really like Ocon. I think he's very good.
Yeah, yeah. The off and
Maybe
on,
he didn't
yeah.
do as well at Renault as I thought he would, but then again, Renault, like the car isn't necessarily like unless you're Ricardo, like you're probably not going to be podium or
Yeah,
top 5 is about how high it's going to go.
yeah.
I like Ocon. Hopefully he'll do better this year. He's a very, very talented driver. Was replacement driver at Mercedes in 2019.
Yeah,
So
he is good.
He'll be good. Okay, so next one is Racing Point,
Or
which is
Aston
not Racing
Martin.
Point anymore. It's now actually Aston Martin.
Yeah. Aston
So
Martin.
Aston Martin, of course, not Racing Point anymore. Going Aston Martin was sort of part of Red Bull. That didn't supply engines. Honda supplied engines.
Yeah.
But Honda is also out of Formula One now,
They're
which
gone.
we'll chat about now. But anyway, Aston Martin is now a brand on its own, going green, British Racing Green.
Yeah.
I'm
Love
very
it.
excited.
I am.
I love Aston Martin, and they
Same.
had a massive financial input or basically investment from the one and only, the infamous Lawrence Stroll. So he is now basically part owner with others and Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff owns like 5% of Aston Martin now.
Yeah.
So anyway, new drivers. Vettel decided,
It's
Ferrari
done.
is
It was
not for him
over.
anymore.
It just was.
Ferrari
over.
just didn't do anything for him, and especially in 2020.
I saw stats yesterday
Yeah.
showing the qualifying differences and race differences between Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel. It was crazy. There was 2 races that he outqualified Charles, and the difference, the ones where he didn't, was second, like second
Oh, it's
plus.
substantial.
You know, it was it was like 8% more. You know, like in time difference. But it's just crazy to see. Like, it was just this year just didn't go well for him. I don't
Yeah.
think there was anything wrong with the car. There wasn't like they were bringing him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool thing.
I
to
think
see.
his character was also tested a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not, the most likable guy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's a German. That means he's a bit rough around the edges now and then. But yeah,
I think he's a cool
I really
guy,
like
man.
it. I like him in the sense that he knows what he's capable of, and he knows when to be quiet He knows when to say something now.
He knows
and
when
then.
to be quiet.
He knows when to
He
be
was
quiet.
quiet a lot when he
Was
didn't do
quiet a
well.
lot, and yes, now and then his temper gets the better of him, and it goes a bit haywire. But I really think he'll be good at Aston Martin because it's a fresh start, and that's
Yeah.
precisely what he needs.
And they're gonna
he just
back him.
needs a fresh breath, and
They're
he needs
gonna-
as a backup driver now.
Yeah, Lance.
Yes, because Lance, like he's not like Vettel will be first.
Yeah, Lance is not going to be first.
Yeah.
Even though his dad is the owner, his boss dad, his dad knows Sebastian Vettel has to be the number one driver.
Like if he is not, then,
Lance needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
He was so inconsistent this year.
But that's he's still very young.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's right. He is still young. But like he finished further down than Sergio Perez, and Sergio Perez was gone for a few races because of COVID, and he still finished quite far back. And it just shows he was a little bit inconsistent this year. But hopefully, this new start. I want to see that car though. I'm excited for that color. It's gonna look
gonna be very,
good.
very cool,
it's gonna look very cool.
Because Aston Martin is known for their unbelievable design.
Yes, it's gonna look. Yeah, that's my main thing. It's just the car, the suits, which people have been like drawing up, and then just I think they're gonna have a decent year.
Yeah.
P4.
No, yeah.
I think P4.
P4, P5 for me also very much middle of the grid. I'm very interested to see how the engine is going to be, and where it's going to be supplied from. If you have any idea,
No
because
idea.
Aston Martin hasn't made racing engines for quite some time, except of course the Valkyrie, which is the road hypercar engine, but that was made by Cosworth.
Yeah, it was.
So imagine Cosworth coming back into Formula One, because
That'd be cool.
Cosworth, of course, made the most amazing Formula One engines, very, very successful cars, prior to this, like in the 1900s, 80s and 90s. So, if Cosworth makes a comeback, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, maybe
because we need a constructor of engines now, because Honda's
gone and Red Bull don't have an engine yet.
So, do you have any idea who's going to supply? Because who are the ones who make engines now? It's Renault,
there's
Mercedes.
There are Ferrari engines, which have Haas and Ferrari supplied.
Yes.
Now, if Aston Martin, like you said, maybe they come, like, was it Cosworth? Yeah,
yes.
if they come back in, maybe they're going to become one. Maybe there's something going on there.
Yes.
Because, it's something, I saw something to do with Lance Stroll, like them owning something for Red Bull. It forces Red Bull to kind of work with them. I saw some kind of talk about it. So maybe they'll go with Aston Martin. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. If they go back to Renault, that's kind of weird because of the issues they had.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably going to go, but they won't go Ferrari engine. Yeah. Unless Ferrari promised them something. But if they look at what happened this year with Haas and Ferrari, they won't go anywhere near that. So I don't know what they're going to do.
So, okay, after that, we have Haas. So Haas is totally new team.
Completely new. Mick Schumacher.
No Grosjean. No Hulkenberg.
No.
We have Nikita Mazepin. I think that's what you call him. And Yuki Tsunoda.
No. It's my Mick Schumacher, Michael Schumacher.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yuki's with AlphaTauri.
Yes,
but those are the new drivers. You
Yes.
just named the three. So Mick Schumacher, which is awesome. His son is in F1. He's going to be so good. He just doesn't have the car to back him.
He tested for Ferrari, I think, early in 2020 also.
Yeah. He's going to be so good. I want him to.
Of course,
he won't be a Haas for long.
I think there's a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, but he won't be a Haas for long because he knows that. I don't think Haas are really going anywhere. This year is their last chance to show they can go somewhere. If not, I don't know what they're doing.
No,
they had a great start in F1 and they've just been dropping since then. This year they got 1 point this season. That just shows they had one person finish P9 or P10. It just wasn't.
It's horrible.
A good season. So, but I don't like the Nikita Mazepin. This little
there is some
weird
controversy
thing
about him because of, I don't know, you heard about the social media scandal.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into it now, but basically he did some sensitive, stupid stuff on social media because he's a young guy going to Formula One, big shot, Russian guy. So a lot of people are like, Mazepin out, cut the ties with him. He's not a good example for Formula One. So he's the new driver. I don't know anything about him. Racing Formula 2, I don't even care where
he's not bad.
Yeah, but it's Haas,
The only reason he's there is because his dad.
Really?
That's why. It's because his money coming through now. Haas needed financial support. They could have brought in a different driver like Callum Ilott, which everyone wanted
Yes.
from Formula 2. I follow F2, not just because of the racing's amazing there, but
Yeah.
like I follow because I follow the drivers to see who has a chance to come through. And the two of the three I wanted were in. Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, but Callum Eilert should have been there, but Nikita Mazepin and his dad,
Has
all the
money.
money, it's just, that's why.
Yeah,
That's why they can't lose him. If they
that's
lose
Formula
him, they lose so much money. So they
Yeah.
can't just drop him because of the situation.
Yeah, okay, I see. I get it now. But anyway, we'll see how they get along.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri.
Yep.
So Yuki is there.
Replacing Danny Kvyat. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Danny Kvyat, very good.
Yeah.
I feel he's a very good driver.
Yeah. But
Where's Gasly at the moment?
Gasly is so it's Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly at AlphaTauri now.
Oh, okay.
So it's so Gasly's there. He's staying. Everyone thought he was going to get picked up by Red Bull,
Yeah.
and then he announced he's staying at AlphaTauri. And then Danny Kvyat, that was pretty much just after that race in Monza, which he won. Just like a couple of
Yeah.
weeks after he announced he's staying, everyone was like, "Come on, you have to go to Red Bull."
Yeah.
That would have been really cool, but
Yeah.
I think they want to keep him because they were planning on doing like a big buy like Sergio Perez, because they're sister teams or something. They're pretty much the same team.
Yes.
So they obviously talk with each other. And then Yuki Tsunoda came through and Danny Kvyat
He's
is out.
20 years old.
He's young.
That's mad.
20 years old.
I'm
and,
20.
And he's in F1.
And he's in F1.
Oh, that's crazy.
But of course, like he's been doing it his whole life. But you say he's a good driver.
Yeah, great. He won races. He did win races in F2. He's got great talent. He's very aggressive driver, is what people call him. He's bold. He goes for stuff, which is what AlphaTauri need, which is Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is a bold driver. And he also seems like he doesn't make mistakes. In F2, he would go for bold stuff. He's like Alex, but he wouldn't make a mistake. He would do it at the right moment, and he would go. It would work, and then it would win him a race.
Okay.
So he's great. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
good
So,
pickup.
Yeah. So next up, okay, we have AlphaTauri now. We've done that.
Yeah.
Who's
Aston
next?
Martin, we've done McLaren, we've done Renault.
Yes, we've done all the top teams. Okay, Williams. So the Williams family actually left Williams
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yeah, which
So
is
I don't know
kinda
who's
sad.
the new
So-
owners.
Well, I don't really know the new owners. I haven't been following that. But
Latifi and
Latifi
Russell.
and George are the drivers, I predicted
Still
like
good.
them staying there. They have a good lineup right now, and I think they're gonna score some points this season.
Yeah.
They came very close,
Yeah.
and they missed out. George could have scored, but he decided to drive into a wall all of a sudden.
Yes.
He was in the points and he was gonna finish, but he decided to drive into a wall, which is a bit sad. But
Interesting.
yeah, so I think Williams are gonna score some points. They're gonna beat Haas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else will happen.
Do you think they're going to beat us? Okay.
I think if the new driver lineup, they're gonna be good, but then they have no experience. They're like very young.
Yeah.
Like Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. George has been in now. This is going to be his third year. It's going to be Latifi's second year. This was Latifi's first year.
Yes.
And that's like the same thing for Mercedes. George is the number one driver, and Latifi's like the just consistent second driver.
Okay. Oh.
So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to have a good season.
And then lastly we have Alfa Romeo. So is that still the same? Giovinazzi and what's his name, Raikkonen?
Kimi Raikkonen. I think it's the same still. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same.
So Raikkonen's still going. He's still
yeah,
going
I'm pretty
strong.
sure it's still it's Kimi and he didn't. No one left. It was pretty sure it's the same lineup. I haven't heard anything from Alfa Romeo, but I think they settled quite early with Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen.
Okay.
So I think that's all the teams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is all the
The
teams.
Alfa Romeo is that one team which, they're. I don't know. I don't know what to say about them.
Yeah.
They're decent, but they're kind of just there.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're there. They have such a great driver, Kimi, but Kimi's out of his prime. Antonio
he's not.
is good, but he's not great. I thought he was going to get replaced. I thought that Antonio Giovinazzi is going to be replaced by Nico Hulkenberg. That's what I was hoping would happen. Because I was like, Antonio, Kimi would leave and Nico would join Antonio.
Because Kimi is old.
He's old and he's not,
He's not doing anything really anymore.
He has like a now
He's
and
not
then
a good driver.
race.
Like now and then he does like, I don't know, P7, P6,
Yeah,
but only now and then.
Now and then he has he has like good race starts.
Yeah.
Like that one thing he got like praise for, where he went from like P20 to like P11 in like the first lap. That was such a big deal, but that's all he does.
Yes.
And he doesn't like finish in the top 10. So.
Yeah. So now and then he is like these stunts of greatness.
Yeah.
Or these stints of
so he's
greatness.
out of his
rather.
prime.
Yeah.
But Antonio has a good chance of. I just don't see him as a number one. I don't know why. I just don't know too much about him either.
So just to finish off, prediction for your top 5 this year.
Drivers or constructors?
No, drivers.
Hamilton, Verstappen second, Bottas third,
Okay.
Daniel fourth, Lando fifth.
Oh, really?
That is
so
my
Mercedes,
top 5.
McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull.
I think Sergio
Mercedes,
Perez. I think P5's either Lando or Sergio Perez.
Okay.
I think he's not going to have it.
Charles
he's going to have a good
Leclerc?
year. No, I think
I don't
Ferrari
think-
are going to have a meh year, but better, but
Yeah.
still not a great year.
But I think they're pushing it because some big changes are going to happen for 2022 with all the regulation changes, because of course this year there's not a lot of regulation changes. On the car there's like a few wings in it.
There's
something that changes.
downforce changes to not wreck the tires again this year, but the tires are also becoming better, and apparently they're way better. They've like had a report saying that the tires are much better to deal with the heavy downforce things. The car max weight has changed, so you can actually have a heavier car now. The downforce has to be decreased by 10%, which is to help the tires.
Yeah.
And the budget caps. That's like the only things that's changing.
But 2022 is the big changes for the car, especially.
Huge
so now
change.
Ferrari is basically just saying, okay, scrap 2020, sort of scrap 2021. You know,
we're focused on 2020.
we're focused on 2022 because the big changes
A
are
lot
coming
of teams
in.
are like Williams are focused on 2022 because they know that's a chance for them to get back in.
Yeah.
I think everyone is. I think even Haas.
Yeah.
They want to get through this year, and then in 2022, I think everyone has a big plan for 2022.
Just the last thing I remembered now, I read this week that Rich Energy is making their way back to Formula 1.
Apparently, that will be
Out of all the controversy they had with Haas, right? Was Haas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the owner, I can't remember his name now, William Story, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, some weird businessman.
Weird guy.
Yeah,
Very
weird
weird.
guy, flew in like with his helicopter with his big beard. But anyway, a lot of controversy with Rich Energy, and they just didn't have a good image. They didn't, in any way contribute to...
They just left Haas.
Yeah.
They just, like, Haas were having a rough part of the season, and then they just left.
And like no money came through really, no investments.
Yeah, that's why Haas have been going down.
Yeah, so they're coming back.
I don't know who they'll be joining.
I haven't read the articles, to be honest, but I don't know who they'll be
They said
joining.
they're coming back, but I don't think they're going to come back.
But yeah, just that's if they do, that's ballsy. That's definitely, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, Divan, thank you for the chat.
Thank you. It was
I
cool.
appreciate it. I think it was cool. I'm very excited for this season. Of
Same.
course, it only starts in March. Interestingly enough, as you said, Australia is only like late in the year. It
Now we're
starts with
starting with
Bahrain. 23 races, first race in Saudi ever.
Yeah, it's like it's like reverse kind of, like a lot of the later races are first.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
but What's your top 5?
Top 5 for me.
Drivers,
Okay,
yeah.
so it will be Hamilton, Verstappen.
Okay.
Hamilton, Verstappen. I want to say Bottas will probably still be third. Then I think Lando will be above Ricardo.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think Lando. And then Perez.
Okay. I see.
So Ricardo is a good driver.
It's gonna be such a close fight.
But I think Perez will do well.
Yeah, I think he'll do well, but I just see McLaren doing very well. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel like they are going somewhere and they have a chance. They
and
have
just
a good
quickly,
goal.
we haven't touched Ferrari, but that's Charles Leclerc, and now also
Who's joining it?
what's his name again? Why have I forgotten?
I can't remember who's Ferrari now. Who's replacing Sebastian?
It's
Carlos Sainz.
Carlos Sainz.
Really?
Yes.
That's gonna be cool. But
Yeah.
I don't think Carlos saw, like, he thought it was going to be the Ferrari everyone used to know
Yeah, but
when he came there. And
but if you can stick it through, maybe next year we'll make some
I
impression.
think he's perfect there. Though.
Yeah.
I think it's a great team for him, and they just needed to get Sebastian out, and he also needed to leave. It was like a win-win, I guess. They needed to get a new driver, and he needed to leave. So I'm happy and excited for Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Charles as well. It's gonna be so close. It's gonna be very competitive there.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very cool.
So get excited, get amped, get hyped for Formula 1 2021. So this is my good friend Divan Prinsloo. So he has a F1 Podium Chat, I think, is your Instagram page.
Hopefully starting a podcast.
Basically just chats Formula 1, and he's planning on starting a podcast also on Formula 1, as you would have guessed. He's not your typical guy talking about toothbrushes and vacuum cleaners. No, he likes his Formula 1.
Mm-hmm.
So give him encouragement in the comment section if you think he should start a podcast. Why not? Encourage him a bit. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining.
Thank you.
It was nice having you on. Thank you for committing. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Please share. Please like. I always do appreciate it if you review it, if you give me some constructive feedback. If you don't like my pluckies, then please tell me.
If you don't like my hair, don't tell me.
Yeah, don't tell him.
I know.
Yeah, he knows. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good one. Cheers.
Cool.
Bye.